You've seen it in photos, heard about it in school, and maybe even dreamt of visiting. But what if I told you that everything you think you know about the Great Wall of China is only scratching the surface? This ancient wonder isn't just a wall, it's a gateway to one of the most fascinating stories in human history. A story of empires, ambition, and perhaps some surprising truths. Pause, dramatic shift. How long did it really take to build? Who built it? And here's the big question. Was it even effective in protecting China from its enemies? Stick around, because the answers might just surprise you. Pattern interrupt, light humor. And no, it's not visible from space. Sorry to break that myth right off the bat. Act 2. Journey. History, myths, and facts. 1. The origins of the Great Wall, more than just one wall. 1 to 230. Serious yet curious tone. Let's start at the beginning. Did you know that the Great Wall isn't a single continuous structure? In fact, it's a series of walls built by different dynasties over more than 2,000 years. The earliest sections date back to the 7th century BC, long before the Ming dynasty, which is usually credited with creating the wall we know today. Emotional trigger, excitement. Think about that for a second. 2,000 years. While we're here struggling to keep our smartphones for 2 years, ancient dynasties were building something to last for millennia. Cliffhanger. But what drove these emperors to such extreme length? Let's just say it wasn't only about defense. 2. Myths. Protecting China or displaying power. 230. Foreign. Tension buildup. The most popular belief is that the Great Wall was built solely to keep out invaders, particularly the nomadic tribes of the north. But here's where things get interesting. It was also a symbol of power. The emperors used the wall to demonstrate their might, not just to outsiders, to their own people. Slightly humorous, pattern interrupt. It's like posting an Instagram story saying, "Don't mess with me." Instead of a 24-hour post, you get a 13,000-mile stone structure that lasts for centuries. Serious tone, emotional appeal. Yet, despite its grandeur, the wall wasn't always the impenetrable fortress people think. In fact, it was breached multiple times. Mongol leader Genghis Khan famously found a way through. His invasion changed China forever. So was the wall a failure? Cliffhanger. Or was its real purpose something else entirely? 3. Cost. Who built it and at what price? 4 to 530. Dramatic tone, fear. Let's talk about the cost. Not in terms of gold or silver, but in human lives. The Great Wall is often referred to as the longest cemetery on Earth. It's estimated that hundreds of thousands of laborers, many of them prisoners and soldiers, died during its construction. Their bodies, it's said, are buried within the wall itself. Slight pattern interrupt, light question. Kinda makes you rethink your complaints about tough working conditions, right? Serious, emotional tone. These laborers toiled under brutal conditions. Extreme heat in the summer, bitter cold in the winter. And yet, the wall continued to grow, brick by brick, mile by mile. It was a sacrifice that many never returned from. But why such immense effort? Transition tease. Because for the emperors, the wall wasn't just about protection. It was a testament to their legacy. But how effective was it really? The answer is more complicated than you might think. 4. Did the wall work? The Great Debate. 5:30 to 7. Tension, urgent tone. Here's where history becomes less about stone and mortar and more about strategy. The Great Wall's effectiveness has been debated for centuries. While it did slow down some invasions, it didn't stop them entirely. The Mongols, for instance, found ways around it, proving that no defense is impenetrable. Lighthearted pattern interrupt. Kind of like when you install antivirus software on your computer, only for it to get hacked by something you didn't expect. Sound familiar? Serious, reflective. But here's the twist. The wall wasn't just a physical barrier. It was psychological warfare too. It made enemies think twice. It united China under a common goal, and it gave people a sense of security, even if that security wasn't always guaranteed. Tease for next section. But what about today? What remains of this ancient wonder? Well, it's a story of both decay and revival. 5. The wall today. Preservation and legacy. 7 to 8:30. Softer tone, historical reflection. Fast forward to today, and the Great Wall still stands, though not all of it. Many parts have crumbled with time, victims of weather and neglect. But in the last century, efforts have been made to preserve this colossal piece of history. Emotional appeal, inspiration. The wall is now a symbol not only of China's ancient history, but of the endurance of human ambition. Every stone tee,